running far away. Would I run off the world someday? Nobody knows, nobody knows. I was dancing in the rain, I felt alive and I can't complain. But no, take me home.
Hi there, I'm Job Kindness Dilambit, and this is a presentation of Grade 7 about Japan. Hop in and let's feel the breeze in the place of Japan. Let me welcome you to Japan. The history of Japan covers Japan in relations to the world. It's characterized by isolationist, semi-open, and expansionist periods. Japan's unique culture developed rapidly during the Heian era, 784 to 1185. The imperial court turned out enduring art, poetry, and prose. The samurai warrior class developed at this time as well. Samurai lords are called shogun, took over the government in 1185 and ruled Japan in the name of the emperor until 1868.
The beautiful dense green grove is one of Kyoto's top tourist sites. It comprises two distinct bamboo clusters set between the GR Sagono Shine train track and the Tenryuin Temple grounds. The temple is a World Heritage Site. Japan has gorgeous landscape garden in the West Asia. Home to Real Garden is not just an art form but a semi-religion, meaning the Japanese also create their garden to complement other art forms. Every visitor to Japan must visit on their gardens. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Castle is a Japanese in Choku, Osaka, Japan. In 1583, Toyomi Hideyoshi commenced construction on the site of Iki Temple. In 1585, the inner dungeon was complete. Hideyoshi continued to extend and expand the castle. In 1597, construction was complete and Hideyoshi died a year after. Osaka Castle was passed in his son Toyomi Hideyoshi, who began to restore the outer wall. The wall was built in 1620, still stand today. Construction of the five Tenshu started in 1628 and was complete after 2 years.
Konnichiwa, my name is Ivan, and I'm presenting the kimono. The kimono is a traditional Japanese garment and the national dress of Japan. The kimono is a T-shaped wrap front garment with square sleeves and a rectangular body, and is worn left side wrap over right. The kimono is traditionally worn with a broad sash called an obi, and is commonly worn with accessories such as zori sandals and tabi socks. Kimono have a set method of construction and are typically made from a long, narrow bolt of cloth known as tanmono, though Western-style fabric bolts are also sometimes used. The way a person wears their kimono is known as kitsuke.
Bon Festival. Bon Festival is the Japanese Buddhist custom of the honor of the spirit of one's ancestors. This Buddhist Confucian custom has evolved into a family reunion holiday during which people return to ancestral family places and visit and clean their ancestral graves.
Konnichiwa, watashi wa Sien desu. And I will talk about a traditional cuisine of Japan, which is Wagyu. Wagyu is derived from the word wa, that means Japanese, and gyu, that means cow. It is any of the 4 Japanese breeds of beef cattle. Wagyu is known to have higher amount of monounsaturated fats than other meats. The traditional way of eating it is by eating it raw. People say Wagyu literally melts in your mouth. It is also one of the most expensive beefs in the world. And I recommend you to try some. Arigato!
Miyamoto was a military commander of the Miyamoto clan of Japan in the late Heian period and the early Kamakura periods. During the Geppai War, he led a series of battles which toppled the Heisha-Ayashi branch of the Taira clan, helping his half-brother Yorimito consolidate power. He is considered one of the greatest and most popular warriors of his era, and one of the most famous samurai fighters in the history of Japan. Yoshine was perished after being betrayed by the son of a trusted ally.
The Japanese peace bell in the United Nations headquarters was donated by Chiyoji Nakagawa through the Japanese United Nations Association in June 1954. The peace bell is made of metals including coins that were contributed by the UN representatives of 65 countries and 9 gold coins by Pope Pius XII, who agreed with the purpose proposed by Chiyoji Nakagawa, who was a member of the board of the Japanese UN Association and an ex-mayor of Uwajima City, Ehime Prefecture, Japan. In his speech made at the 6th United Nations General Assembly in Paris, Chiyoji Nakagawa proposed to make a peace bell that would include coins to be donated by those who strive for peace from around the world. The peace bell was cast by Tada Foundry, Takamatsu City, Ehime Prefecture. There are 8 kanji letters molded on the surface of the peace bell, meaning the bell for absolutely peaceful world. Cheers. Around the sweet spot of the bell, where a wooden hammer hits at, is a molded laurel leaf which symbolizes peace. The Peace Bell Tower was designed based on the concept of a small temple with floral decoration, which was built by Rinpei Oshita, a carpenter specializing in temple and shrine architecture. Such as the Peace Bell is the result of cooperation by many people who agreed with Nakagawa. The bell rung today on the vernal equinox day in March, on the opening day of UN General Assembly in September, and on September 21st, the International Day of Peace, an event of United Nations. Here is Seiko Tasake, daughter of Peace Bell creator Chiyoji Nakagawa.
ジョージは神仏をとても敬い、そして全ての生命を驚くほど大切にする人でした。想像を絶するほど平和を願う父が1951年パリの国連総会でお話をする機会を得ました。そこで父は世界絶対平和万歳の鐘を国連に寄贈したいと訴えたのです。父は平和の鐘が人々の心に響くと考えたのでしょう。父は世界中の人々からコインを集めて平和の願いを込めた世界絶対平和万歳の鐘を作ったのです。そして長崎からはキリスト教徒の女学生が平和運動に参加したいと長崎で被爆した一握りの土を父のもとに送ってきたのです。そんな父のところに広島で原爆に被爆した宇和島市の龍源院住職松本指導禅師から一握りの広島の被爆の土が送られてきました。その両方の土を平和の鐘とともにニューヨークに送り、平和の鐘の鐘楼の下の礎石の下に父は埋めたのです。
After Nakagawa said in his speech by proposal, by spreading peace in people's mind and by having religion peace conference, a mission for realizing absolute peace could be fulfilled. Without peace in mind, there will be no peace in real life. Si Denise G. Marnelego for Japanese UN Peace Bell.
No soy traficante, pero escucho corridos que juegan tomando Tecate. Ya dímelo antes. Ya si quieres dinero, lo siento, no tengo. She take my dinero, take my dinero. She take my dinero.
Hola amigo, we are grade 8 and our country is Spain. First of all, what is Spain? Spain is the largest country in the Southern Europe and the second largest country in the Western Europe and European Union and the fourth largest country by area on the European continent. Now, let's travel to Spain.
Spanish traditional dress for a woman are called, most people refers to Andalusian dress as flamenco. The flamenco dress, Traje flamenca, or Sevillana dress, is the traditional suit for Spanish ferias and romerias. Nowadays, is worn at the stage thanks to flamenco performance.
The national anthem of Spain is called Marcharil or Royal March. It's amazing how their national anthem is one of the four in the world that does not have official lyrics. It is also one of the oldest national anthems dating back to the 18th centuries.
Now, let's talk about their national flower. Spain's national flower, the red carnation, it symbolizes love and courage in many cultures. It represents the affection between lovers and has also been used as religious symbol for a passion of Christ. It looks like a dance ruffle skirt. In the Spanish, the red carnation is called clavel.
Spain's national animal are the bull. In Spain, bullfighting is a cultural activity that is widely followed across the country. This popularity has led to the bull being a national animal.
While Catholicism is the largest religion in Spain, most Spaniards, and especially the younger, choose not to follow the Catholic teaching in morals, politics, or sexuality.
The national castle of Spain is the Royal Palace of Madrid. It's the official residence of the Spanish royal family at the city of Madrid. Although now used only for state ceremonies, it's a big palace and it has 3,418 rooms.
Let's talk about the beautiful places. One of the examples are the San Lorenzo de El Escorial. San Lorenzo de El Escorial is also known as El Escorial de Arriba. It's a town and municipality in the community of Madrid, Spain, located to the northwest of the region in the southeastern side of the Sierra de Guadarrama at the foot of Mount Abantos and the Las Machotas. The monastery of the El Escorial is the most prominent building in the town and is one of main Spanish Renaissance movement, especially remarkable in the Royal Library.
Guggenheim Museum, Bilbao. Guggenheim Museum is arguably the most important building of Wright's late career, a monument to modernism. The unique architecture of the space, with its spiral ramp rising to a dome skylight, continues to thrill visitors and provide a unique form for the presentation of contemporary art.
The Alhambra and General Life Gardens is occupied the slopes of the Hill of the Sun, from which there is a complete view over the city and the valleys of the rivers Linan and Dara.
Los Blancos, the unique and beautiful whitewashed village of Andalusia, which are some best place to visit Spain. The white towns of Andalusia of Pueblos Blancos are series of whitewashed towns and large villages.
Let's talk about their beautiful places like Mitjaneta Beach. The island of Menorca obviously has the most beautiful beaches in Spain. Mitjaneta Beach is just a magical. It's 29 degrees turquoise water and enjoy its fine sun and sun of Menorca. Bye-bye.
Now, let's talk about how Spain got their own freedom from a flu called Spanish flu. Spanish flu, also known as the Great Influenza Epidemic or the 1918 influenza pandemic, was an exceptionally deadly global influenza pandemic caused by the H1N1 influenza A virus. The Spanish flu was a type A form of influenza virus that started in a bird host or a bird flu, as discovered during later research. At some point, it was transmitted to mammals, and the pandemic started at February 1918. In addition, the Spanish flu killed about 50 million people. About 675,000 of the deaths were in the US. With no cure for the flu, many doctors prescribed medication that they felt would alleviate symptoms. By the summer of 1919, the flu pandemic came to an end, as those that were infected either died or developed immunity.
Ya si quieres dinero, lo siento, no tengo. She takes my dinero.
Ottawa is Canada's capital in the east of southern Ontario, near the city of Montreal and the US border. Sitting on the Ottawa River, it has at its center Parliament Hill, with grand Victorian architecture and museums such as the National Gallery of Canada, with noted collections of Indigenous and other Canadian art. The park-lined Rodeo Canal is filled with boats in summer and ice skaters in winter. Toronto skyline with the CN Tower on the shores of Lake Ontario in Canada's biggest city is the iconic CN Tower. One of Canada's most famous landmarks, the tower stands an impressive 553 meters high and dominates the skyline. At the top, you can find fine dining in the revolving 360 restaurant and enjoy a meal while looking out over the city and lake. The lookout and the glass floor offer beautiful views out over the entire area. For an added thrill, consider stepping outside of the enclosed area onto the metal walkway for the CN Tower Edge Walk. You will be harnessed in and then able to walk around the building 116 stories or 356 meters above the ground below. But even those who choose not to go up the tower will find themselves stopping to stare at the structure, which is visible from almost everywhere in the city. At night, the tower is lit in different colors. Poutine, few Canadian dishes are as world-renowned as the glorious creation known as poutine. Crispy fries, squeaky cheese curds, and rich gravy all combine to create the meal of dreams. And this French-Canadian food is so popular that it can now be found all around the world. The classic version is great on its own, but toppings like pulled pork, bacon, and smoked meat really knocked it out of the park. And at an average price of 3.50 euros, it won't break the bank either. Maple syrup, also known in Canada as liquid gold, is a truly special product created from the sweet sap of the maple tree. The leaf even emblazons the Canadian flag, but there is much more into it than a breakfast ingredient to pour on your pancakes. Here are some of the most interesting facts about Canada's favorite sweetener.
Maple syrup was invented by the Iroquois people, who are indigenous to the northeastern America. They pioneered the tapping technology that drew sap from the maple tree, as well as processing techniques from transforming it into syrup and sugar crystals. Maple syrup is categorized into different grades, which are determined based on the color and light transmission of the product. These factors are influenced by the time of season the sap is collected, not by how the maple syrup is processed.
Ang India ay kinikilala bilang isa sa world's emerging powers. Nangangahulugan na ang kanilang ekonomiya ay tuluyang umuusbong. Ngunit kahit na sila ay kabilang dito, madami pa din ang hindi kumikilala sa kanila. Kaya naman, sa video clip na ito, ipapakilala namin ang India sa inyo. Ang India ay lupa ng mga sinaunang sibilisasyon. Nagsimula ito sa paglaganap ng Indus Valley Civilization at ang pagdating ng mga Aryans. Ang dalawang yugto na ito ay kinikilala bilang Pre-Vedic at Vedic Age. Sa Vedic Age, umaangat ang unang nilang relihiyon na Hinduism. Sa ika-5 siglo, nagkaisa ang India sa ilalim ng pamumuno ni Ashoka the Great. Siya ay naglaganap ng Buddhism sa India. Sa ika-8 siglo naman, dumating ang Islam. Sa ika-17 siglo, dumating ang mga Europeo sa India. Sila ay sinakop simula noong 1757 hanggang makamit nila ang kanilang kalayaan noong 1947.
Ang mga kultura at tradisyon sa India ay tunay na natatangi. Isa dito ay ang pagsasabi ng namaste. Ito ay magalang na pagsasabi ng kamusta, paalam o ng salamat. Sila din ay mga piyesta na nagaganap kada taon. Halimbawa nito ay ang Onam. Ito ay pagdiriwang ng mga nakatira sa Kerala, India bilang isang paalala sa pagbabalik ni King Mahabali. Maaaring kilala ninyo si Mahatma Gandhi. Siya ay kilala sa pamumuno ng mga protesta laban sa mga dayuhan. Sa protestang mga ito, iniiwasan nila ang mga bayolenteng uri ng pagprotesta. Si Indira Gandhi, isa ring impluensya ng tao sa India. Siya ay kauna-unahang nag-iisang babae Prime Minister ng India. Siya din ang pangalawa sa pinakamatagal na naging Prime Minister ng India.
Malaki ang impluensya ng reliyon sa India. Kasama na rito ang kanilang mga tourist spots. Isa rito ay ang Taj Mahal. Itinayo nito sa utos ni Emperor Shah Jahan para sa kanyang asawa. Kabilang ito sa UNESCO World Heritage Sites at kinikilala din ito na isa sa pinakamagandang arkitektura sa mundo. Isa pa sa tanyag na lugar sa India ay ang Holy City of Varanasi. Ito ay isa sa pinakamatandang tirahan sa India. Ito ay ang spiritual capital ng India at ito din ang holiest of 7 sacred cities in Hinduism. Napapanatili ng India ang kanilang kapayapaan sa pamamagitan ng patuloy na pagpapalaganap ng ideya ng kapayapaan. Tuluyan din nilang sinusunod ang 5 prinsipyo na kanilang itinaguyod noong 1974. Sa pagtatapos ng video na ito, sana ay nagkaroon kayo ng ideya sa iba't ibang aspeto ng India. Kung nais ninyo pa na matuto ukol sa kasaysayan ng India, maaari kayong maghanap ng mga YouTube video ukol dito. Ayun lamang at marami pong salamat.